Hi everyone, Seraph Complex here to discuss our small manga haul for our web store. So everything here will be listed to our web store, that's seraphimcomplex.com, within the next week, and some items are already uploaded and available for purchase, so please take a look if you have time. So the first manga volume we have, which I'm sorry to say, this is actually already sold, so unfortunately this is no longer available. But this is Resident Evil, The Marhawa Desire, Volume 5. This series was originally published in Shonen Champion, and Capcom had actually approached Akito Shoten with the need for a prequel to Resident Evil 6 that would be in manga form. And so Akito Shoten was primarily responsible for the art while Capcom handled the scenario. And, unlike other weekly shonen series in Japan, the Marhawa Desire was published within 5 blocks, and that each had a hiatus of about 2 months separating them. And so this allowed some time for Capcom writers to evaluate audience reception and rewrite or edit the narrative, as needed. The next couple of manga here within the haul are a couple of volumes of Naoki Urasawa's Monster within the Viz Signature imprint in the singles format. One of the absolute best formats for this series. The details of the covers and spines are really well done. Drops of blood splattering along the white covers with the title covers having varying vibrant colors here, with the title of the series. Great work, in my opinion, by the former Viz Signature publishers, and so much more meaningful compared to the larger omnibus volumes printed currently. As a collector myself, this particular printing is one of my favorites out of any single editions that are currently in print or currently existing. For this particular printing, the front covers mention, in quotes here, "from Japan's master of suspense," and honestly, no truer words could be spoken or written, I should say. Monster is not a fast-paced series. It establishes the primary conflict well, honestly, from the beginning, but from there the plot builds slowly and with so much detail through characters and tone. And Naoki Urasawa's art is so fitting for this narrative as well, with such detailed faces, via added lines to create clear compositions and characterizations for a series that hones in on identity and character development. So getting into volumes 17 and 18 here, I'll try to skim over any spoilers, volume 18 being the final volume of Monster. These two particular manga have actually already sold, unfortunately. However, volume 15 and 16 are still available. The next series within the hall is Utopia, The Final World War by Fujiko Fujio. And this was one of Fujiko Fujio's earlier works. So at this time, the duo mangaka Fujiko Fujio A and Fujiko Fujio F had yet to start to distinguish between themselves. So Fujiko Fujio F is known for works such as Doraemon and Perman, while Fujiko Fujio A is most known for Ninja Hattori-kun and Little Monster or The Monster Kid. At the time, the duo decided to use the pen name Fujio Ashizuka to honor their mentor, Osamu Tezuka, who had helped them publish their first work, Utopia. This particular edition comes as a rare Japanese hardcover release with a furoku, which is comprised of what is, I'm presuming, an interview and small comic of the two Fujiko Fujios talking about the work. The series itself, Utopia, is a satire focusing on, of course, themes of war and the destruction it begets, but it also questions the concept of complete and utter acceptance of science as a righteous and infallible power. In this world, and perhaps as it is in real life, as science and technology becomes more efficient and improves, so do the weapons utilized for war. And so the two Fujios wrote this at a time, when Japan was recovering from World War II, and the Japanese revival meant full acceptance of a capitalist economy and technological advancement in order to remain competitive with other countries. And so it's a piece written for that time, but I think some of the key points of the narrative, especially those relating to science and technology, are still relevant today. And this release was so well done. The color pages are stunning, and the paper quality is thick, so really, really well done. And every space of the book has some artwork printed on it, so even if you remove the paper slip on the hardcover, the image is printed on the hardcover portion as well. So it feels really great to hold, really high quality. After Utopia, we have Neko Majin by Akira Toriyama, and this is a one-off manga, so single volume, that comprises all 8 manga chapters that Akira Toriyama wrote from 1999 to 2005 of Neko Majin. And they were originally published in Weekly Shonen Jump and was set as a one-shot, but later became a self-parody of Toriyama's most notable work, Dragon Ball. And so the series focuses on various characters from the Neko Majin race and takes place within the same universe as Dragon Ball, with the later chapters even including cameos of some Dragon Ball characters. Moving on to some shoujo, we have Sand Chronicles Volume 1 by Hineko Ashihara, who unfortunately passed away earlier this year. And the shoujo mangaka community really lost an amazing writer and artist with her passing. The series is one of my favorites from her. Sand Chronicles is a coming-of-age story focusing on grief, loss, the importance of community and friendship, among other things. So if you want a gut-wrenching but ultimately uplifting series with a bit of emotional turmoil, I think this is a series anyone or you would enjoy. The next series that will be available on the web store shortly is Usagi Drop or Bunny Drop, Volume 9 by Yumi Unita. A bit of a controversial piece of josei history here. The story focuses on a 30-something-year-old man raising a 6-year-old girl, Rin, who is the illegitimate child of his grandfather. And so despite the raunchy premise, the series for the most part depicts a wholesome and realistic relationship of a single dad raising a young girl. I'll leave out any spoilers, but the ending of the series had mixed reviews and essentially split the fandom in half. With the manga ending being so widely contentious, the producers for the anime actually tweaked the ending for the series. Moving on now to some art books, we have Your Eyes Only, the Chobits art book published in English by Tokyo Pop. This is actually from my personal collection, but I had 2 copies of this art book, one in Japanese and one in English, and I opted to keep the Japanese version because I honestly liked the paper quality just a little bit more with the Japanese release. This Tokyo Pop edition, the paper is excellent quality with thick pages, but it has a matte finish. So compared to the Japanese printing, which has a glossier finish for the pages, I just like the way the art looked with the glossy finish a bit better. Regardless, though, both editions are the same in content and both are amazing quality. Here we have Dramatical Murder, official fan book for the visual novel by Nitro Plus Chiral, which is Nitro Plus's BL or Yaoi division. This guidebook includes character profiles, official art, and guides of all routes with CGs from good and bad endings. So some of these pages, especially the CGs, I can't really show, but we can flick through quickly here. And finally, we'll round out our first haul video for the Seraphim Complex store with Code Geass graphics, anime, art guidebooks. And these are also from my personal collection. I just decided to weed out some of my Code Geass merchandise. These books are relatively thin, meant more so as anime guides more than really like an art book. But they do showcase a lot of amazing original art of Lelouch, Suzaku, Colin, and C2. And that is everything in this haul. Thank you everyone so much for watching. And again, please consider checking out our web store, seraphimcomplex.com. Thanks again. Bye-bye.